Hi, I'm Divya.
Hi, I'm Karan. And this is
Thinking
On Thinking.
Hello, welcome to the 5th season of Thinking on Thinking. Today we talk to Rashmi and Anand, who run the page Travel with Searats on Instagram. They are really amazingly creative, and we talk about everything from being an influencer, how they started, to how cringe is super important to get over if you really want to do something interesting with your life, and especially if you want to do things that make you happy. We hope you enjoy. So I met Anant and Rashmi in Mulki when I was trying to learn surfing. Did I learn it? No. But that's when we met. And the first time we met, I was like, oh my God, these are people after my own heart. So cool, so awesome, and so like real. So first, maybe tell me about and tell our listeners about how you guys got into traveling. These guys were travel bloggers, and both me and my friend were like, wow, so cool. They're like running an Instagram page, traveling together as a couple, learning all of these cool things, running business. What is this? So like maybe you guys can, start with introducing a little bit about how you got into this.
Wait, I'll go.
I have a lot of starting points
Yeah.
for this conversation, so I'm just like thinking where to start
So
from.
she's like, should I start from age 5 or 6?
Okay, so like when did you guys meet actually?
We met when we were 15 years old in junior college.
When did you guys get together?
16.
2 years 17.
Word, we met in 11th. We got together in 12th. Yeah, so how is that 2 years?
But that's 16th birthday and 17th birthday. Post 17th birthday we got like we met. I met when we were 15 years old. We started dating when we were 17. Post our boards. No, maybe a little bit before that.
Yeah.
And we did not do very well in our exams or our prelims or anything.
So you guys have literally known each other for over half your lives. You guys have been together for half your lives.
Yeah.
What is that like?
I don't know, it's quite amazing. I mean, imagine you make a best friend when you're young and then you get to like have sleepovers and enjoy life.
With them.
Yeah, with them. It sounds very childlike, but I mean, if it works, it works, It's one of those things. Like, if it works, it's like the most exceptional thing ever.
Yeah.
So it's like, I do feel like I'm very lucky as a human, and I feel I've always been lucky. My parents also think I'm the lucky one, so if they want to do anything nice or big or whatever, they'll call me, I'll touch it.
Even I think she's very lucky.
Good things have happened to me, and really like rare good things, like which don't happen. You just hear them in stories, and then I have that story, and sometimes it's like strange for me too. I don't know why this happened to me, but it's just it's there. And at 15, you're not manifesting and all of that, and you're just obviously you're dreaming as a kid. I was always a daydreamer.
Yeah.
You're not manifesting that this will happen to me, but somewhere I think something worked. I mean, whatever. So yeah, when I was 15 years old, like I was obsessed with Harry Potter a lot. And because of Harry Potter, I think I started getting interested in like how to be a part of, a world where I can write, I can act, I can travel the whole world, So these were my 3 like agendas. I want to act, I want to travel the world, and write and stuff. And I came to the conclusion that being an actor is a perfect thing that encapsulates all of these things for me. But obviously, like growing up, it wasn't easy to act because it's not really like a route you take as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my parents weren't completely on board with that idea. But I tried, auditioning and stuff. I got a few things, I modeled and stuff, but ultimately it was all about, no, you need to study. It doesn't matter what you're doing, you need to study. So I gave up on that thing, and eventually, like, we grew up, we started earning money. We were like, hey, let's, there is a thing called Instagram. And people do everything they want to. Like, you can turn your hobby into a career there. So I was always interested in that. I had it at the back of my mind when I was doing other jobs that people are doing something here. And I feel like my skill sets, my creativity, my writing skills, my whatever, like fits into this. It wasn't hard for me to think I could do that. So I mean, post our engagement, we went to Thailand for a trip and we purchased a new GoPro. We were obsessed with it. We shot the whole trip. We enjoyed it so much, like so much. We're like, this is amazing. And then when we came back, we're like, oh, how about we start a new page called Something Travel and put all of this there, you know, because I don't want to spam my personal profile because my friends will unfollow me. So I'm just starting a new page. And we posted all of our Thailand travels there. And that just clicked something. We really enjoyed it a lot. You know, it was a lot of fun. Like the aspect of growing the page and stuff came later. But the initial thought was, the experience was of a lot of like love, joy, and, you know, things that we are able to do together because we've lived in a long distance relationship on and off a long time. So doing something together and enjoying travel, eating food and swimming and stuff was just very healing. And I think the page started because of that.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, you know, how universe rewards you. You're like, I want to travel, I want to perform, I want to act. But actor was not the way to do that. Actors hardly ever get to travel.
They travel, but they're not enjoying the
travels. They go to
go
to a city, but they haven't really seen the city. They've only seen the studio sets, or, you know, that's about it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how, like, you know,
I know, like, I reached my goal without the path that I thought was the right.
Yeah.
But I ended up in the same place, and I feel it's even better because if I want to do something more now, I have the means. And then I have a way to do that. Like, I can fulfill all of my other childhood dreams also at this point. But
Yeah, and also there's that thing, right? Like you can either focus on the what or you can focus on the how. Like you can't constrain both. And you were like, okay, these are the whats that I want to do. And like just the how sort of happened organically for you guys.
yeah, I mean, I always just know that I want this, but I don't know how. But it works out. Like somehow instinctively, my brain is taking me to those places and I'm making certain decisions which is taking me in a direction. And I'm too like human and not good at mathematics at all to ever even figure out how that happens. I'm just like in for the ride.
You'll find Rashmi really never thinks about the how so much. It is mostly about, I want this, and then it'll just happen.
Yeah, like I am not a strategist. I'm not strategizing my life to reach a certain point. So when people tell me how, and I was like, I have no clue, man. You tell me how things work, how the world works. I have no clue how things happen.
I think that was also one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you guys, because like I think a lot of the interviews that we have done are very like cerebral people in some sense. Like they've had more like, you know, between the intuition and strategic thinking path, more people have leaned towards the strategic thinking, even though honestly for everybody who's successful at some point they have to be like, okay, trust the thing and like just go along with the flow. But like I think you are amongst the people that I know, you're on the more extreme, okay, I will just trust that it will happen and like just proceed further. So I was like, it would be really good to have a conversation.
Yeah, that's nice, because the thing is, whenever I've tried to use my brains and make a strategy to reach some place, it hasn't really made me happy. I've reached the same place. But I was like, this is not fun. Like, I don't like to be so calculative in life. Like, I don't enjoy living that way. I just, like, honestly, just like, trust it'll take you there and you'll just learn the right things and meet the right people. I have come back to believing in this, you know. In my 20s, I was told a lot that this is not the right way to live. You know, it's pretty stupid to think like this. So I tried thinking like logically. It was very hard to be logical for me too, because Anant helped me trying to like, he was like, okay, if you want to grow a page, like there is a way to do it. You know, wishing and like, acha, like the page will grow is not going to make it grow. There has to be a way to do it. And I think certain things did help me. Like there needs to be a structure. I don't think the page would be here if we didn't have the brains of Anant to strategize it in the right way. I am like deciding the direction and the fields and all of that. But he is like making the decisions which are very like real, you know. when do we post a video and what do we do, like those kind of things, which like it doesn't even occur to me that these are the things that I have to think
smaller things. कितना लंबा होना चाहिए video? Like how long should the video be? How should we start it? Why should we start it this way? Like, so those kind of things.
So, if I recall correctly, Anant, you were in a very cerebral job before, right?
I wouldn't call it cerebral. It was basically you have like a list and you just follow the list. Like, you don't. I mean, it was hard. I will
you
put it this way.
explain your job, na?
Okay, so I used to work for an oil company in Saudi Arabia. I was a logging while drilling engineer. Basically, we used to log the well, where you basically find out what formation you're drilling, so you can know, basically kitna oil hai, gas hai, pani hai, whatever. And it was an alright job. Like I'm an engineer. I did 4 years of mechanical engineering, and I did this job for 7-8 years.
That's like quite a significant period of time, honestly.
Yeah. So the reason I went into this job was because money. No other motivation for it. And I think at that time I was a little short-sighted. Like, if I have money, I can travel. Because even I wanted to travel. Like, it wasn't about us traveling. It was just about, like, I wanted to see the world. I don't know if you guys have seen People Are Awesome videos. It's basically a YouTube
I have, yeah.
Yeah. 2 channels, Fail Army and People Are Awesome. Fail Army is all the fails. People Are Awesome are all the wins that people do. Like, amazing stuff. So I used to watch that and I was like, man, I either want to edit one of these videos or I want to be featured in one of these videos. So that was like the thing that I wanted to do. So I used to work on the oil rigs, and then the job, it's not very hard. Or at least mine wasn't that very hard. It was a little, you had to monitor a lot. I automated a lot of stuff. So I wasn't really doing much and a lot of free time. So I learned editing. Like, I was like, let's learn things. So I learned editing. I saw kind of places I could visit, where I could go, what were the people doing. Because at that time, internet hadn't blown up the way it has now. Social media at least was still in its nascent phase. Yeah, I really wanted to do something adventurous. Like, that was the thing that felt was like my true calling. And like 3-4 years down the line, I was like, man, this job is really like, initially, so a lot of people can make a lot of money doing a lot of jobs, but this job also gave me 30 days off. So I used to work for 30 days and it used to give me 30 days off. So that off was what I really liked. The fact that you could, in those 30 days, travel anywhere you want.
And 30 is quite a significant chunk also.
Exactly. But like 30 days working is also quite a significant chunk. Like,
Yeah.
So, especially if it's a long distance relationship, that was the biggest pain point that I had. Like, that we were constantly living long distance. But whenever I used to come back, we used to travel. That was like our relationship, like at that time. Like, we would just, I would work, and then when we would come back, we would plan trips. So we went to Vietnam, we went to Thailand, like, and there are some limitations. You can't really go to Schengen countries because it requires time to apply for the visa. I hardly had that time to apply. So, it was mostly visa-free countries or like easy visa countries, e-visa countries. So the part about short-sightedness, while that job was fun, the second I started exploring the creative side of, like of me, I would say, like, editing videos, editing photos, I was like, man, this is so much more fulfilling. This is, no amount of money can replace this, the joy that you get after creating something. And I was like, I can't do this for too long. I can't do the oil field job for too long. And so then we started like working on an exit strategy, like, okay, ये पूरे life में long नहीं चल सकता, so let's build this page and see where it goes. And once we start earning enough from it, like, one of us can quit, one of us will be full time, and then both of us will quit. So like that was the plan.
And now you guys have finally done that.
Yeah, we are finally there 6 years later.
Yeah. I think we met you in 2021.
Yes, we met in 2021.
In 2020 only, just before COVID, I had quit my job.
And I was finding like Wi-Fi everywhere in Mulki trying to work, remember? I was so so miserable.
Yeah.
So miserable.
Even though you guys were already like pretty big by the time we met, it's also been really interesting, like just seeing you guys go through that growth. Like I personally like really find a lot of affinity with creative type people, that like, oh okay, how is their journey gonna go, right? Like, you know, people make friends for different reasons. I think my major reason is I want to see where life takes you. Like you seem to be on an interesting journey. I just want to see where you go. And it's just been like really interesting how you guys explore. And like from an outsider, somebody who doesn't work in a creative industry, people often think, yeah, you just had a gift and then it just happened, right? But like what you guys are also saying, okay, we had all of these ideas, but then also there was like all of the time that you were spending learning editing, or like all of the time that you spent like, okay, explore acting, explore this, explore that. Like all of that is effort, and you have to like, you know, constantly put in effort. So it's just been like a delight also to see you guys sort of grow. Like yesterday I was seeing your page, I was like, damn, these guys have tripled from where we were when we were in Mulki. It's like very nice. I also feel like you both bring different kinds of creativity to the table. How do you collaborate with each other? Because, like, to me, it feels like very few people work with their family members. They always find it such a treacherous thing. Like, I collaborate with my siblings, but like, it's generally most people are like, I could never work with my siblings. And I've had so many people be like, I can never work with my partner. Like, are we just gonna be talking shop all the time? Are we gonna be working together, living together, all of that? Like, how do you guys sort of like, you know, I know you guys are deeply in love, which is amazing, right? Like, even after this many years, but like, how do you guys sort of manage when both of you put on your creative hats? Like, how do you not, I don't know, how do you collaborate?
We are constantly talking shop.
No,
But,
but
like-
to be honest, I'll just say for myself. You can say for yourself. I love the whole, like the entire idea of making a video that people will watch. You'll hold their attention, and at the end, hopefully, they'll get something out of it, something useful, something meaningful. I love that whole process. So, idea is always how to make it better, how to one up yourself, like, you know. And it's not the views is not like what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the quality of content, like, you know, how can you make it better that people are like, wow man, these guys are like, you know, this is something that like they've really brought new to the table. And I think that's what motivates us. And you are right, it kind of like, you know, you're always talking shop, and we had to like draw limits.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, once we're on the bed, sorry, no more talk, and we have to like then decide times.
But still, yes, we still talk.
Haan, like-
Sometimes, like, I wake up at 6 and I'm like, yaar, mujhe ek idea aaya.
Yeah,
And like, I will have to just discuss it. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'll just write it first and then speak to you about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, ideas just come out of nowhere. And the thing is, if he does that or I do that, we are immediately interested in the idea. It's the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's something we both enjoy so much that it's not like, you know,
Yeah, we never go like, क्या यार अभी क्यों बात कर रहे हो, like, you know.
yeah, like by end of the day we are both tired, so we're watching Netflix, cooking food where we are not talking about it because you genuinely mentally can't think anymore. You want some downtime. And during the day we are constantly talking about work, but it still never feels like it because you're making food and talking about something. Like, it's not really like the same kind of a working environment.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy doing something together, it just becomes a part of your life. Like, it's just another aspect to your life now, you know, after having so many, like, being a friend, being like partners, being whatever, like, work partner just is another addition. It is not like, it's not taking anything away, it's actually adding so much more because we always have something to talk about. There's too much to talk about. Like, we have to sometimes just like, let's just not talk for 10 minutes.
No,
Let's just not talk.
it's also because our brand of creativity is so different that there is, the conversations don't die. Like, it's not like we're both bringing the same thing to the table. They were bringing very different things to the table. Rashmi, aesthetic queen. Like, you know, if I want something aesthetic, I'll just ask her it. How do we make this more aesthetic, more pleasing to the eye? She'll come up with the best solution. So all that text, you know, how to align it, how to. I'm not very good at that. I'm good at rhythm a little, but not so good at how will this text look. She worked as a graphic designer for so many years. So, like, you know, I was like totally gonna exploit this skill as much as I can. And I mean, that's why, you know, there are some ideas which we work together, and there are some ideas which are like just her, and there are some ideas which are just me. Like, you know, like, so I do more of, sometimes we do comedy sketches. mostly like I come up with them and I was like, I force her, chal up, like, you have to act. Like, you love acting, na? But like, kudos to her, she loves it. Like, so quite a performer. So I'm not so good at performing. I'm pretty good at writing, but like the performance bit, she makes up for that. So like that's why I give her most of the complicated scenes where thoda emotional aana hai.
I don't mind making a fool out of myself. I really enjoy it actually. If I have to play someone who is like doesn't know much, like falls all the time. I don't know, physical comedy, like I enjoy so much. And I really give it my all. Like I've done stunts for no reason. Like I don't need to do it, but I will give it extra. I'll scrape my knees and stuff, but I'm so happy. Like I just want to just keep doing this. It's just
You are so right. Like now that I think back on your content, you are actually like, huh. So I used to be in the drama club in the college, and then like I've tried improv a couple of times, and almost always like I'm just like, I don't want to do this, right? Like there is this like slight internal cringe. And like when you said I don't mind making a fool of myself, I'm like, yeah, that's what I don't like. And that's why acting it feels a little bit like, okay, let's just keep it slightly away from me.
I read something recently where this woman is talking about, do you want to be cool or do you want to be happy? Because if you want to be happy, you should not kill the part of you that is cringe.
Oh my God, what is this? Why are you throwing wisdom here like that?
Because I do like find acting embarrassing also, which is what I tell Anant a lot of times. When we are performing, he can't sometimes. And I'm like, acting is inherently embarrassing. It is. You just have to be okay with it. Like you have to make a choice that I'm okay with this or I'm just too cool to do this. Like there's just two ways out of it. And it took me years to be okay with it. But when I'm doing it, I enjoy it so much that at that moment, I'm not thinking about it. I want to like make someone laugh, right? So if you're trying to make someone laugh, you are being a joker. You're not really thinking about it at that time. Later and stuff, I can't look at myself though later. Like that's why when it's being edited, I can't hear myself. I can't look at myself.
Even after this many years.
I cringe looking at myself when I'm looking at the final product. But the doing bit of it is something I enjoy a lot. And I trust him, like, he'll never really make me look bad. So,
yeah, of course.
So I trust him, like, I don't really check. If someone else would be editing or had those footages, I would freak out, to be honest. But yeah, like, I want to be more okay with doing cringy things because, I mean, happiness is there, right?
Oh no, happiness is cringe, is it?
Because whoever's very happy and stuff, people find them cringy, right? Like, we judge people that way. Cringe is something that's so important for us to not be. Like,
it can go in all ways, but if you look at even the comedy stars that you absolutely love, if you were in their position, you would cringe. Like that is, I think, the point that she's trying to make. Like
I don't know.
you gotta let yourself go to that extent.
No, that kind of makes a lot of sense because like even as I think about myself, things that make me most happy, I'm the most okay about being cringy about them. Even when somebody is like, why are you doing that? I'm just like, okay, I don't really care what you think about it. I'm just gonna do it because like whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, Ganpati Visarjan, okay, it's a huge thing in Mumbai, right? Maharashtra. You dance like a crazy person. And like, Anant, I think I'm sure, like, finds it extremely embarrassing and cringy because I don't see him around me also.
But no,
He's somewhere, like, looking at the wall. Like, he's so far away from it. But I will do a Nagin dance if it makes me happy. If my body makes me do a Nagin dance, I will do a Nagin dance because I'm like, why no? I don't care you have a problem. Like, I just don't care. Like, for me, certain things like dancing, acting give me so much happiness that I'm not ready to, like, negotiate on it, like because of someone else's discomfort, because I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad.
You just got a new title. Content creator does Nagin dance.
That can be the clickbait title.
No, that's so interesting. Plus, like, I guess that this wisdom means a lot more coming from you because you have been putting yourself in front of the camera, in front of like hundreds of thousands of people for
a long time now.
Nee, because imagine if when I still tell people that this is what I do, people judge you, right? There is a judgment, like no one will tell you directly, but they're like, matlab, there is a certain kind of a superiority complex that people have against creators and people who do these things. If I were that person, I could have never done this. I would have never started a page and put myself out there and fail constantly. You know,
Very
like
true.
you're constantly failing. Sometimes your views are low. Sometimes you've done something that is stupid. Sometimes you've clearly made a mistake. You have to apologize. All of this in front of people. If you're not comfortable with being cringe, you are incapable of doing those things, you know? Like, it's just not possible to do it because you would rather be comfortable in your own house, never trying things out. Because why should I do it if, you know, it's hard.
Yeah, it is like one of those. I would say a lot of times people like criticize Instagram influencers or like TikTok influencers or whatever. But I think like one of the most challenging things is like, would you be okay being under the scrutiny of millions of people like regularly? Like, would that be a life that you can sustain and like still maintain your sanity? Like, you know, your maid says something negative to you, you will run away and you'll be like, oh my God, she said this 4 days, your mood is bad. Like,
That happens.
A lot of times it's also, you know, people take it out of context so many times so that you have to even deal with people constantly trying to misunderstand you on purpose. There's no empathy, there's no effort to see your point of view or like from where you're coming from. They don't know your content style, they don't know what you stand for, but
Yeah.
they're there to make judgments.
No, it's become a blanket statement
Ah,
at
yeah,
this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like people say all IT people are the same, right? Like this blanket
Very
statements,
true.
all engineer, but it isn't. Like every person is very different. They think differently. They have different morals. They are not all doing the same thing just because 4 popular ones did something. But it's the same thing with creation and on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. You can't have a blanket say all creators are cringe and all creators have no moral value, right? This is absolutely wrong because I see a lot of people who are doing whatever they can to earn money, but there are people who are not doing that also, like quietly trying to like follow a certain path. So maybe it's too soon, like it's just such a new thing that no one knows what to expect of it. But I think it's easier to put the creators in that zone because it makes
Yeah.
them feel better somewhere, you know.
it's always easier to be a critic than to be a
You
creator.
are putting someone down, you're feeling great about yourself. That's like a way to just escape the reality. But it is their reality or whoever is only criticizing, right? But there are people who are very understanding also, who without us ever talking about it, they somehow know the effort that's going behind and, you know, the emotions and stuff. So there are all kinds of people. But I mean, obviously the trolls are the loudest.
Yeah.
That was also another thing that like I wanted to ask you guys. For a lot of people that I've seen online, influencers and all, like one of my friends, he's like quite popular on Twitter, and his partner is also somebody who's quite popular on Twitter, and they have both like not shown on Twitter that they are dating each other, because then haters of one will also affect haters of the other, and they're both like loud people. So like, how do you guys deal with it? Like, you know, not just you individually being online, but also like your relationship being online and in front of people. I don't know, like at least personally I feel scared of that piece also.
I think just because we know each other for so long, like anyone's opinion is not really entering our conversation. Like this page really started working where people were noticing when we were 30. We know each other since we are 15, right? 15
Very
years
true.
of really knowing each other and knowing each other to a level where there is trust, there is an understanding of how far this person can go. Is this person really this or that? Like you have an understanding. After that, if someone's coming and telling me something, I'm like, who are you and what do you know? Like it is not possible for anyone to have any insight on us at this point. It's not possible. So it's just noise. It's just noise. Like it really does not affect us at all. Like I don't know how, but I think one of the reasons is just knowing. If we had done this maybe in our early 20s, or if we had just started to date and then we would put ourselves out there, maybe there would have been a lot of issues. But for 15 years that we were together, we dealt with almost everything, right? Like that there is like long distance, financial issues, all those things are much more like harder than people talking online about you. You know, like if you deal with the trust in a long distance relationship, and now like what can anyone tell you really, right? Like what can you? We're bored together all the time. I'm like, where are you even going? Please go out, like do something. Like nothing can really affect.
Also, a lot of like proof is in the taste of the pudding. Like been together for so long, there is nothing anybody can say that can like make me think otherwise. I was like, I mean, I would like to feel that I probably know her definitely better than a random troll on the.
Definitely.
Just like you
so-
work with your siblings, and I'm sure like you have if someone comes and tells you yeah la la la, la you'll be like yeah okay cool, and you just because you've
Very
lived
true.
grown up like because 15 is so young that like
Yeah.
we forget in our 30s that how young 15 is, but we
It's
literally
basically a child.
yeah, we literally grew up together. Like he taught me how to drive a car. Like we are coming from like I can't. That is what I'm saying. Like we learned things together. Like he learned to drive a car so that he can teach me. Like I did something. So I think that this is not just any like normal, romantic relationship. It just goes beyond that a little bit. So I mean,
Yeah, and also another thing is we don't talk much about, we don't give advices, we don't talk much about our relationship per se. We talk
yeah.
about like it's been there for long.
Yeah.
That's one thing we talk about.
We're never revealing it. You haven't seen our bedroom. You haven't like, we are not really like taking the camera into our lives.
Oh, that's so interesting that you guys have managed to like keep a sense of privacy despite the fact that you're public figures.
Yeah, there is absolute privacy. There is nothing that I mean, you'll never see any of us like walking in with a camera and like, oh my God, look what he's doing. Like, this never happens. Like, we're not taking each other by surprise for content.
Yeah.
Nothing is going up or being shot when we are just in our homes, unless we've decided that okay, you're cooking something, I want to shoot what you're cooking, so I'll get the camera, and then we'll just show the food, and that's it. The food is shown, nothing after that, us eating, what are we,
Who's cleaning the dishes?
Interesting.
I feel like there is so much, like hardly anything known about us. Like,
Yeah.
There's so much wisdom, guys. Like I've always put you guys in the fun. Maybe it was because we met on a trip, but so much wisdom. I'm learning so much.
we are fun also.
Yeah, I know. You guys are super fun. So, like, recently I've been feeling a little bit of change in tone in your videos, and I can't pinpoint it. But is there something?
Yeah. I think I have felt a change in me. Personally, we went on a trip recently and I think it changed something. Like we traveled business class, we had a lot of fun. And it just showed me, like gave me a perspective in a very different kind of life. Because you see people who are very successful doing something a certain way. And now when you're sitting next to them and observing them, I felt like something grew in me, like confidence and some kind of a self-belief that, maybe I can achieve what I want to. And that thing just has changed a certain perspective. I'm constantly changing anyway. It's like quite taboo. But this recent change, I think, has been the best because I feel now I'm back to being a teenager, but with the learnings
Resources.
of a 30-year-old,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just waking up and feeling happy, and that hasn't happened for a long time. And I'm also feeling very open. Like I used to always overshare. And then in my 20s and early 30s, I just stopped myself because you learn lessons, people sometimes take advantage of you. But now I feel like I know what to even overshare about, there are certain things I will never speak about, but certain things I want to speak about. I want to be open, I want to be approachable, and just like make stuff that matters and not just run behind stupid things like virality and stuff. Like we stopped making it for a long time, but we're not making anything just for the views. If it's not something that you enjoy, even if it's long, even if we know it won't work, but we will describe it the way we want to. And I think that's probably what you've witnessed, but I'm not sure because
But I think I need to ask you, like, what did you, like, give me some insight on what change you noticed.
I feel like subject changed from the places that you went to or the experiences that you had to like the emotions you guys experience. I don't know a better way of articulating it, because like I was also just like, at least for me, it started happening when you guys went to Hong Kong some time back. That was last year.
Yeah.
I think.
And like I think since then, like the content has slowly been shifting, and like, oh, now even if they're making content in like, we are working out, and you guys are not fitness influencers, right? But like I'm like, I still feel that sense of fun. And I think like I don't know, like maybe it's working, maybe it's not I don't know.
Really turning into influencers. No, I think it's the same thing which I'm also
Yeah,
talking about from my side of the...
She's talking about the underlying emotion behind it.
Because the
Yeah.
thing is, Anand doesn't do stories at all.
Instagram
Okay.
stories.
Instagram stories. Like, he is very uncomfortable sharing anything about his life at all. Like, it's me who should have taken that mantle long time ago, but I was also uncomfortable because I think I thought that, I'm just too cringe to put out there, and like, who would care, who would really care? Like, that was my whole thing. So we wouldn't really share anything, like a personal journey wouldn't be shared online. You would only see the end result. But now I feel like I'm able to, like I said, like be more confident in sharing my personal journeys. Like, and it's the ones I choose. I'm like, work out, like it's fun. Like, why am I thinking so much before putting this? I would like put stuff up and delete it 5 minutes later because I'm like, no. This is like I would sometimes wake up in the night and delete things because it would haunt me.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, like horror of oversharing to 300,000 people. It's like, it's horrifying,
Yeah.
I'm just realizing there's certain things I don't mind oversharing. Like, if I'm going through a personal workout journey, I don't have issues with my physical self that much, so I can take trolls if they come to me also. Like, it won't change how I look at myself. So there are certain things I'm confident about where I want to share my personal journey. And the journey is
Interesting.
what was missing because no one knew. Like, suddenly I would come back and be like, oh, look, this. And people like, what happened in between? So for the first time, I think the in-betweens are also revealed.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, I'm so focused on the end results that I don't like find the need to talk about anything in between, because like I just want to talk about that final product of like like that we finally create, like that is like the most important thing for me.
He's not really a talker. He's a listener. That's one of the biggest reasons this is working also. But like, he's not a person who really like craves conversation in the sense that he's not like, oh, do you know what happened in my day? He's not that kind of a person who feels the need to share. So it doesn't like convert into an online thing where there is a need to share. And
True.
I did not have the need to share. Like, I still don't, because I have someone who's constantly listening to me. So the need to share is where you create a whole personality online, right?
Yeah.
You are so desperate to share your life that you create something.
I will make liner notes of this and supply it to people. You can also be like, okay, here are the notes from our conversation, all the wisdom.
Yeah. I mean, so I felt if I was like a single girl, I would have had a 2 million ka profile because itna oversharing ho raha hota. And like dating story, like that is where people enjoy, and there's relatability.
Yeah.
Relatability with a couple who's been dating for so long and like kuch nahi hota hai. Like, it's very hard.
Are you saying I should make an Instagram account and like start doing it?
I mean,
Single girl.
It will work if you want to do it. That's what I'm saying. I mean, people are lonely, right? There's someone to share and talk. So they keep talking about their deepest, darkest secrets, which I think ultimately is not good for them in the long run.
Yeah,
They might
yeah.
earn a lot of money now, but when you're 20, you're oversharing. At 35, it is definitely cringe. Like, that's something I will stand by. So being careful about what you share, obviously, but the need for sharing has come back, but in a very different way. Not like emotional sharing, but like, oh guys, look, like I'm cooking my own food, or I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to build a better version of myself. Like, very superficial sharing, because again, like, you can't go too deep. You don't want to scare people because
I would even not call it superficial. It's more like operational stuff you are sharing rather than sharing the emotional or the psychological stuff.
Yeah, because that is still something which is like very vulnerable. Like, you don't want to open up to people
Yeah.
who are ready to throw arrows. maybe there'll be a time when I wouldn't get bothered by that too. Maybe I don't mind. I actually want to reach there. I want to personally just be able to share all of my struggles and my thoughts. Because I don't know, I've always been an oversharer. Like I write things down, or I am constantly thinking about things, and I'm giving advice to people in my head. So if I get to do that in real life.
But I always feel that I've seen this with anybody who's with an artistic bent. A lot of times art is a way of showing what they feel and what they want to talk about. And even words are like that. Even words form art that
For
way.
me, it's been every era has had a different like art form.
You are Taylor Swift, the Indian version. Eras.
Like I believe in like an elimination method, because I want to be so many things and do so many things. I'm like, fine, you want to be a photographer. Like, what do you even know about that? Just get into it. So I interned with a photographer, and I realized that I really don't want to be a photographer in that sense, like handling like photo shoots and models was fun, but I was like, I don't want to do just this. It's not fun. I could eliminate it. So I've tried everything, and I keep trying everything and eliminate what I don't like, and the things I like, I keep like doing it little by little and growing in it. Because I want to be able to have so many good skills at the end of my life that I'm never worrying about like how will my next paycheck come to me. Stuff like that. Like just constantly learn and keep learning and growing in the things you want to. Because I think now we've reached a place where together we have so many skills that I'm not afraid. When people are like, aren't you afraid? I was like, if this doesn't work, I can still get a job.
Yeah.
I'm capable of doing it, and I've already done it for 10 years.
I mean, like, your worst case scenario is to go do a job. Like, imagine being in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I can't really complain, right? And worst case scenario is getting a job, which I'm sure I'll get, he'll get. So that isn't really a worry. So you want to give your all, do your best, and keep adding more skills to the existing.
Theme music is by Akshay Ramuhalli of BTRPT Music. Editing is by Beatnik.
Hi, I'm Rashmi,
I'm Anant.
and we are Travel with C-Lads.
We are content creators on Instagram. I used to be an engineer, and then I basically started editing videos.
We travel around the globe and create content for ourselves, our audience, and also brands. And that's how we get paid. So basically, we get paid to travel, which is the best job ever.